Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. I'm the Junk Man, and welcome to this live stream. I've turned to 8,000 subs, as you can see on the sub counter down at the bottom of the screen here. And first of all, I want to just thank everybody out there for subscribing and viewing my videos, because I couldn't get there without the viewers. And I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying being on YouTube and making videos that people apparently like to watch. So I also want to give a big shout out to, some of the people who support me here, companies and whatnot. Climbers Manuals for service manuals, and Rocky Mountain ATV MC. You can get all kinds of aftermarket motorcycle parts and OEM parts through them. A lot of people don't know that. And I want to give a shout out to them because they help support me here a little bit on YouTube. And, I'll take questions in the chat here. And actually, I'm working live here, so looks like I need to adjust just a little something here on my software here. Just give me a second here, folks. Let's drag that down there a little bit. Okay, yeah, so you'll see me looking this way and this way. And that's because I got two monitors set up here, and I have to be my own little production company here, so bear with me. But anyway, that's the joys of kind of doing this thing on YouTube, and not everybody does it, so that's why I like to do it. Anyways, as I said, those companies support me, and I get a question every once in a while, and I know people are wondering about it. How do you make money on YouTube or the internet? I'm gonna kind of go through some of what I do. I guess this is unique to me. Your mileage may vary, and honestly, I don't do a very good job of it. I mean, I I take some techniques, but I kind of half-ass it. So, I mean, do as I say, not as I do, I guess, if you want to be super successful at that. But like I said, this is just a hobby for me, so it's not my livelihood. So, it's all fun to me. But anyway, like I said, we'll get some people in the chat here going, and if you got any specific questions about YouTube and making videos on the internet or anything, because this is also an AMA, an Ask Me Anything. Um, so ask me anything in the chat there, and I'll respond to it. And like I said, it can be motorcycle related. It can be anything related if you're interested. But I'll kind of just get started here. If you watched my 4,000 subscriber thank you live stream, and we're doubled here. We're at 8. We're at let's see, 812 here. So you may know a little bit. Like I said, this is a hobby, and I was able to build somewhat of a successful audience given kind of a low sub count. I mean, considering I've been on YouTube and uploading to YouTube for 11 years, over 11 years now, since January of 2006. And for those that don't know kind of the history, YouTube went online April 2005, but I think for live public it wasn't until like September of 2005. So I mean, I was in early, I guess, one of the early adopters, which is rare for me because I'm generally not up on the cutting edge. Actually, the computer and such I'm running this on, while it's decently spec'd, it's probably about decently spec'd as of like 4.5 years old. So I definitely don't keep up with current technology. So, but anyway, started back in 2006 on YouTube, and that was actually pre Google. Google bought YouTube shortly after that, but anyway, I mean, that's neither here nor there. It was pretty much seamless, but then they brought in kind of a partner program, but it was an invite-only kind of thing for a lot of years. It wasn't until recently, last 5 years or something, 6 years maybe, that that monetization of videos was available to anybody who signed up. I mean, they've recently changed some things where you have to have at least 10,000 views on your channel now or something like that. But back then, even if you got, had a viral video that made 1 million views, that doesn't mean you were going to monetize it. You had to be invited in, and only certain creators. And I wasn't invited initially. However, in about late 2008, I think it was 2008. I remember it was around Thanksgiving because I remember getting an email and checking my email over the holiday and getting a, hey, welcome, would you like to monetize this video? And I was like, what? And it was one of my early videos. Actually, it's on my channel. You can go back and watch it. It was actually one of my first, I'd say, one of my first sponsored videos too. You could say that's where I reviewed a pit bike from a company, and that's when I was into pit bike racing. That's a kind of another story that I could tell on another stream. But anyways, oh hey Joe Kid, hello, thank you for joining. Ask a question in the chat if you'd like. Anyway, going on. That one was first, eligible for monetization because it kind of got shared around, and it was kind of, for what it was kind of getting some decent views. I mean, for back then, and especially a channel of mine, I maybe had 10 videos uploaded to the site by then, so not very many. And it was getting something like 600 or 700 views a day at times, which, like today, that's nothing, of course. But for that, it was good. I turned it on, of course, made a few cents a month off of that, like a few cents, and I'm being literal. I'm not being sarcastic here. And anyway, so I was like, oh, well, this is interesting. So I went through the process, and I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. Had to set up an AdSense account, and that's one thing if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, or you have one but you don't have monetization turned on, you have to set up an AdSense account. That's Google AdSense. That's how they pay you. That's how they track earnings. Advertisers and publishers use AdSense. That's how the ads get served, and you have a unique publisher ID and all that. So I set that up, and there we go. Well, down the line, boom, another video got invited into being monetized, and then another, and I started. It's like, oh, well, this is interesting. Let's start trying to make a little bit more. A little more content, maybe try to up it a little bit, just make some more content, because it's obviously people are searching or finding me, and at this point, I maybe had a few hundred subs is all, and I hovered around like 500 subs for the longest time because I wasn't doing proper strategies to encourage people to subscribe. I just thought, oh well, they'll hit that button. Well, later on I've learned you want to definitely put call to actions, in there. But anyway, so that's really how it all kind of started with YouTube. As far as making money on YouTube, is I just kind of got invited. I mean, I knew you could make money on YouTube because, like I said, you get newsletters and it would in your email and it would say, oh, make money, but it's like you got to be, with this partner program. So I got partnered pretty early on too. From YouTube directly, and I have ever since, and it's just, it's grown, like I said, but only in the last 5 years is it really starting to sort of take off, and that's only because I sort of started taking it a little more serious, I guess you could say. I mean, I'm still doing this as a hobby, but maybe taking a more serious approach of it. Oh, I got some comments in the stream here. I got ahead here. Let's see. Wooden Metal Workshop. I know him from the Garage Journal. We talk a lot. Hey, anybody else watching here? Go sub his stuff because he does a lot of. I want to give a shout out to him because he does a lot of neat metalworking builds and then other just general general repair and stuff. And he's really thorough and detailed with his content. And he's got a nice vlogging series that's going here too, which is fun to watch and just see what he's doing almost day to day. So, go subscribe him there, and I see He's over 9,000 or 900. I read that. Over 9,000. Okay, you anime people would get that, you know. But, but anyway, no, hey, you're almost to 1,000 subscribers. And hey, if you have the internet connection, hey, I encourage you to do at least a quick live stream. You know I'll be in there. Joe Kidd. Oh, good luck on stream. Uh, in time, more subs will join. Oh, yeah, yeah. And I thank you for watching. But anyway, getting back to this is, like I said, I started rolling along and making more videos, and I kind of just started making some how-to videos or some basic how-tos, mostly centered around motorcycle stuff, obviously. And I was active on a lot of forums, even back in the early 2000s, late 90s, 2000s, and such. And I wouldn't say I had a name for myself, but some of these forums I had been on for 6, 7, 8 years now. So it's like, users, I guess knew me. So occasionally I'd post some of my videos there, or they get shared around some of these forums, and so they just kind of took off from there. Um, but anyway, I lost a train of thought. Well, anyway, yeah. So I was doing the how-tos and everything, and they were getting shared around, and I was like, well, people seem to come to me for questions. They would private message me through these forums and all this, and they'd also say, well, hey, why don't you have a website, or do you have can I donate? Do you have a PayPal donate link and stuff? I'd like to give you some money because you helped me out. And I'm like, nah. And that's a lot of the reason why I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, but that's why I don't have, most YouTubers have Patreons now and things, and I think it's great. If you want to, I think it's great they have them because I like it. I donate to a few YouTubers just a little bit a month because I enjoy their content. It's a way to say thank you, and it's like help them keep producing the content that I like to watch. The reason I haven't done it is mostly because I'm not trying to go pro or do this full time, and so with a Patreon, then it'd be kind of like you have a couple of bosses behind you, dictating, hey, you need to upload a video pretty soon because it's been a while. So that's why I haven't, even though people are always messaging me, contacting me, commenting on my videos or on my website, like, hey, is there a way I can donate? And my canned response is, just watch the video. Turn ad block off, watch the video. Let an ad roll, share the video around, just give me just a few minutes of your time and watch my video, and that's payment enough. That's how I look. Let me just hit in the chat here because we got a few people going on. Reading here, advertisers are messing with the YouTube monetization channel. OnlyFans. Yep. I'm up on that, and there was the recent ad apocalypse back there in late March or April. I mean, it didn't really hit me too hard because my content's pretty safe. But I did saw CPMs go down, and I'm going to get into that a little bit later, what that is, if you guys watching don't know. But that's the landscape of online video, online anything, is it changes. I mean, in the 11 years I've been on here, I've seen a lot of changes to YouTube, good ones and bad ones, and arguably, I can't say that the ad apocalypse was entirely bad because it maybe weeded out some garbage channels and kind of raised the better content to the top, maybe, and then also showed what is valuable and kind of corrected the market. Because if I kind of go on my timeline for a bit there, I was also on YouTube and another site that is now defunct called Blip.tv, which was acquired by Maker Studios early on, and then acquired by Disney. So technically, for a few years, I worked for Disney, if you want to look at it that way. And they had real salespeople selling the content that they had, and they kind of had stringent content guidelines, and that's where my Barn Fresh series originally resided. and sometimes there was as high as you know, a $25 around the holidays, $25 CPMs and stuff, and that's just not heard. Wasn't even heard of on YouTube. But YouTube's were higher. Now they're quite a bit lower. But I feel they're probably fair for what the advertisers are possibly getting, and that's why YouTubers, if you're trying to go pro, you know, you get sponsored deals, you get advertisers, you know, direct or burnt in advertising and things. But you know, like I said, I just passively keep up with some of this stuff. So I mean, like I said, do as I say, not as I do, because I'm not utilizing all the techniques for maximum revenue here by any stretch of the imagination. Um, let's see, I got a question in here. I'm going to go off topic just a little here. What's the biggest carb you would put on a 200cc ATV? Probably no bigger than probably something like no bigger than like 32 millimeter. That'd be kind of pushing it. Just you and even at that, you'd lose a lot of kind of your low end performance, and it'd be hard to tune. Um, and you deserve donations. Oh well, thank you. And maybe one of these days I'll turn on. I mean, I guess if you want to give me a donation, down. Let me try to do it with my finger. Down here with the green arrow is the super chat. You could thumb me $1 if you really want to, but because that's how that works. Honestly, I don't know what happens when you press that. So try it out, I guess. Who disliked the stream? Wow, Junkman, you have a troll. Oh yeah, it's the internet. You put yourself on the internet, you know, you're gonna get a troll. You're gonna get a hater. You're gonna get bad comments, and you know what? Just gotta let them roll. I mean, yeah, I know. I have my detractors. Not that many though. I will say that. Not like some people. Although I don't make too controversial content, I don't think. But but anyway, yeah. I guess that's one of my tips is if you're gonna wanna, you know, do this or be online, be ready for some criticism, either just pure trolling or constructive criticism. And you know, it's like my videos aren't perfect and my audio's not great always. I hope it sounds good to you guys right now. This is a cheap microphone and I'm in my garage obviously, and I need to put some sound editing up and things. I could probably use a lavalier or a clip-on mic here, and that helped. Sorry, Jim, but I get paid tomorrow. Hey, that was kind of the joke. You, like I said, you never, anybody watching the archive stream or now, you never have to feel guilty about turning ad block on or whatever. You know, I'm here to just make the content because I find it fun. And like I said, my buddy Wood Metal Shop that's in here too, I know that's kind of how he probably feels too. I think he's trying to get more serious about it than I am, and that's why you know, I appreciate it if you sub him and check his stuff out. But you know, it's all done for fun, and you can tell the YouTubers who are doing it for the right reason versus the wrong reason. So oh, now you're gonna make me feel bad. You donated $2. No, I'm supposed to donate to your live stream when you do. But thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But now you make me feel bad because I appreciate it. I feel weird getting just people wanting to pay me for things, you know. But that's probably why I only kind of do like maybe the sponsored videos and things is I don't mind it when a company wants to give me some product to review or try out, and you've seen my Flex Amount vid and that's, you know, I don't make videos on products. You know, I get bombarded with product requests to, hey, can I send you this and you try it out. If it's not a product I would genuinely use in the shop or in the life or whatever, or it's a company I just don't believe in. And that's why I really only have two main sponsors, Rocky Mountain ATV MC and Climbers and Haynes Manuals, because I have those. I buy them. Rocky Mountain ATV has been good to me all over the years. I bought a lot of parts through them. They helped me with a big kind of almost, well, I wouldn't say it's a fundraising event, but putting on a event. They provided a whole host of prizes for an event that I put on, and they gave me, let's just say they gave me way more than I asked for. I was looking for like, maybe $200 worth of little trinket stuff to give away, and they gave me, almost 10 times that. It was, I almost felt bad accepting it, because I was like, this, I'm going to maybe have 150, 200 people at this thing. But like I said, that's why I like to always give them a shout out, because they helped me a lot in the past with other things I've wanted to do. I got a question in here. Okay, Joe Kidd, again, thanks for thanks for asking another question. How many years have I been a mechanic? Well, I'm technically not a mechanic. I'm not trained as a mechanic. My day job is not being a mechanic. I do something very, very different from motorcycles and cars in my day job. And how many years? Since, I don't know, since I was 10, 12 years old, 13, old enough to pick up a wrench kind of thing. And learned that all, got inspired and learned most of what I know from my dad. And then, of course, educated myself some more along the way, and just curiosity. I just stayed curious. So yeah, I'm not. I have no real formal training in mechanics. Oh, I've taken a few little classes here and there. I've taken some welding courses. I used to have some welding certifications back in the day for different types of welding and different types of positions and stuff. I took those at a community college, and that was way back then. And I took those not because I wanted to be a welder, because I wanted to learn how to be a better welder, just in my own practice. So, but saying that, I wouldn't consider myself an expert welder either. I can do a pretty good job, but I wouldn't call myself an expert. So, so yeah, that's kind of that. Just reading through here. Does Junkman have a quad? What kind? Nope. I'm not an ATV person. I don't hate them. I'm not a quad hater. And I have friends that have ATVs, and back in the day, pre-YouTube days, I had friends, and they used to race ATVs, sport ATVs, motocross, and TT, and like flat track. And I was kind of the chief mechanic for our race team. We had 2, sometimes 3 quads, and we'd go around to some regional races and do that kind of thing. So I've worked on a lot of ATVs and things. They're not much different than motorcycles, because they're just a motorcycle engine with adding another set of wheels. Suspension setup, you got to think a little bit differently and stuff. But I don't own it. I don't own an ATV, and I don't have any desire to. Honestly, I think they're dangerous. That's coming from motorcycle. I think motorcycles are a bit safer, because in their own way. But anyway, not a quad person, really. Let's see, he used to have a LT 500 Quadzilla. Oh, the hard starting on the Quadzilla. Yeah, I worked on actually 2 of them. Part of it is they have too small a carburetor, and the intake is, because of the way they had to design it, the intake's too small, and it's angled real funny. And it just doesn't have very good flow characteristics. The 250 is a lot better designed, but it's designed off a better motor design. That's part of the reason why, is that carburetor is just a little too small for that displacement, and the intake, the way the intake goes into the crankcase on that is it's an awkward angle. It's not direct, so it kind of has to make a little bit of a turn. And I think fuel pools up in there, and so you always kind of get that sound out of it. So that's part of its trouble, from what I remember. Somebody asked, you still have that Kawasaki G500? It's not 100. It's a MC1M, which is a 90cc. same lower end, just a different jug on there. And yes, I do. Actually, that's my wife's bike. Uh, she bought it, and she did some of the restoration. I did the paint and such, which is all on my website. If you want to see how that all came together, because that tank was pretty well beat up. What do I prefer, 4 or 2-stroke? You know, different strokes for different folks, and I like them both. I like 2 strokes for certain things and 4 strokes for other things, but I don't really have a bias. I guess in motocross I would, but I'm a little old school that way. I would prefer the 2-stroke, but these high performance 4 strokes now, they've got the kinks worked out of them. The early ones were kind of ticking time bombs. These later ones, less so. They're still expensive to rebuild. That's kind of the downside, but they have so much power and so much torque. Actually, they have more power than you can use, but they're great. They're great, but it just depends. Because I have Kawasaki triples and stuff, 2-stroke triples, street bikes, and those are fun too. If you like oil getting splattered up your back, I guess. I enjoy your videos and everything. Keep them coming. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. I will. I don't really have anything in the hopper, unfortunately, right now. Just other things in personal life has kind of gotten in the way of producing a lot of quality content. But I got a bunch of projects that are in progress, but I don't have anything kind of like at the ready to upload. Some of it's going to be just some other interest stuff. Actually, you can see behind me here, I got a couple of toys and such. Actually, this Tonka, I hate this because it's backwards. This Tonka forklift, I'm going to restore that, probably make a video on that too. Like I did my Tonka trucks. I don't know if people come to my channel for that or not, but it's something I'm going to do. It's something I enjoy, and I'm going to do it. And of course, I got an Ertl International loader and backhoe there. And these were toys from my youth, and they got played with hard, so I got to repair them. Okay, let's see, what do we got here? 2-stroke, right? Anything like the Kawasaki K100. I'm not sure what you're asking there. Could you clarify that, Jordan? Okay, I found your channel by the Junkman was showing us how to turn a pit bike. Thanks. Yeah, that's my highest viewed video on my channel. It's 1.2 or 1.3 million views, and it increases by almost 2,000 views a day. So I'm not surprised about that. Also, and you may have gotten even referred. Some people might have gotten even referred from How to Motorcycle Repairs. Pilot Screw Explain. I can't remember the title, but it's How to Motorcycle Repair. I want to give a shout out to him a little bit too. He's another YouTuber I contact every once in a while, and actually we did a quick little collaboration. He's got some really good how-to videos, so consider subscribing to him. And I know he's got a Patreon and some ways to support him. So if you'd like to do that when your paycheck comes in, throw some money his way. It's always good. Let's see here. I was wondering if your G5 is like the KE100 parts are the same. Okay, mine's an MC1M, not a G5, but yes, the G5 and the KE100 and the MC1M and the G4 and the I'm missing one here. Anyway, I can't think of it. All share a lot of the lower ends, I believe, are almost identical, if not identical. So all those parts are going to interchange. The frames, I believe, are the same. The thing is like the lights, fenders, and all that, and graphics, obviously, and the shape of the tank and stuff changed over the years. So like your side panels and stuff aren't going to fit from each of those models. But like all your internal engine parts, coils, points, condenser, flywheel, all that good stuff are going to rectifier. Your electrical, most of your electrical are all going to be the same off of all those models because they ran that. I think they ran that like engine design even up well into the late 80s, I think. So it had like almost a 30-year run. So there's a lot of them out there. And yeah, so does that kind of answer your question there, Jordan? Is that what you were asking, or is it something different? I'll wait for you to kind of respond here. But yeah, yeah. If we don't have, I don't have any immediate questions, I'll kind of go back to kind of the main topic at hand of making money on the internet. I talked about being partnered with YouTube a little bit, and and it's kind of like, well, I also started a website, so and because I have my AdSense account, I put ads on my website, and that helps with web hosting and domain name registration and just stuff like that. So and like I said, website building, I mean, I do it all myself, and as you can see, I mean, it's by no means professional. I think it's navigable. I think it does what it's supposed to do. It could be better, and I'm always doing tweaks. I'm always adding information to it, pictures, more text, things of that nature, things that come along, and I think, you know what, the information for this is kind of hard to find. Let's put it here, and then it'll be searchable and such. Um, let's see here. Answer. Okay, Jordan, thanks for the answer, but was curious about retrofitting some other models into my KE100 that I'm building into a cafe racer. Oh, okay, I see why you're asking now. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, that would be, that KE100 would be a good calf racer project, just because that bike is, it's not rare. It's not ever going to be worth anything, or, worth a boatload of money or anything. So yeah, chop it up and make it into something cool. Yeah, but just about all the Kawasaki um, 80 through maybe the 120. I think some of the 125s. Don't quote me on it. 80 through 100s, I know, share a lot of parts. So if you want to be looking for those kind of bikes for like your engine parts and things. But the biggest thing you could do, especially making a calf racer, is change out your suspension to something more substantial than any of those bikes would have. So that means changing triple clamps and things. But mainly, I would work on the front forks, getting something a larger tube diameter, so they're not as floppy out there when you're running it hard. Just off the top of my head, maybe find something, more modern that has a disc brake. So like maybe like a KLX 140 front end, or trying to think, the XR 100 is get drum brakes, so you don't want to be robbing from that. But maybe a CRF 150 or something like that. You can find a beat up one, take the front end off that, maybe. Get better force. Oh, hey, Jordan. Hey, thanks for the donation there. Thanks for the donation. Like I said, you guys make me feel bad when you donate, just because, like I said, I know I should ask more, and I should allow people to donate other ways instead of just like right here. But I sure appreciate it, because I do this for the viewers and to answer questions like that. And if you have follow-up questions later, just comment on the archive of this video, or go to my website and comment in one of the comment sections. So I appreciate that. But yeah, going back to your bike build though. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about it? I'm since we got a little dialogue going here. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about it? Joe Kid, should I change the front sprocket or rear sprocket to increase top speed on my quad? I was thinking about adding 2 teeth in front. Yeah, actually doing the front sprocket is going to be the cheapest way to do that. And of course, you can't go too big, because you're limited by the clearance you have from the chain and your ignition cover, or if you have a case saver on there. But yeah, usually you have room for 2 teeth up or two teeth down to do that. And yeah, going up will give you some more top speed. Obviously, it's going to make that first gear a lot higher. So starting off is going to be a little more slipping of the clutch. But if you're mostly looking for just all-out top speed, there you go. That's the cheapest way to do it. Thing is, you might have to add a half link to your chain because your rear sprocket, I'm assuming this is on an ATV, I'm guessing, because you were asking about ATVs before. That eccentric on the back of the swing arm may not have enough travel to give you enough slack for the chain on there. So keep that in mind if you do that. Okay. Jordan responded here. Sorry, had to play catch up, but yeah, it's an old 1979 that my girlfriend's dad had, ironically, barred since '85. Okay, yeah, barn find type deal. Yeah, and really those aren't, like I said, those KEs aren't really desirable to just like fix up and make good like my F5 Bighorn, which I assume you've seen on my website. If you haven't, go check it out. But yeah, so it's a perfect calf racer project. But I would, before really messing with the engine, because that engine is pretty peppy as it sits, I would work on the suspension because that'll help you be able to ride it faster, especially if you're going to be on the street and stuff. You know, grab yourself some inexpensive aftermarket shocks, just measure your eye-to-eye length, and then get a spring that's suited about for your weight, you know. Call the company, they can probably that you're going to get the shocks. Falcon's a shock company I've used in the past for some twin shock stuff. I know there's Progressive Suspension and Race Tech, and there's some other ones that make them, but I happen to like those. And then, like I say, your front forks, and get something that has a disc brake on it. You know, the rear wheel, you know, rear drum can still be okay for that. I wouldn't go through all the mess of trying to build a swing arm that can hold a caliper just to have disc brakes back there. But find a way to convert to a disc brake up front if you're going to do that kind of thing. Okay, I've completely replaced the trans and piston, and now finish up the cosmetics. Last part is the calf radiator seat pan. Okay, so you're able to hammer out your own pan. Okay, you know, I have a video on how to maybe make some seat foam for that if you want to do that to be simple, especially on a custom-made job like that. Suspensions, I bought Harley rear shocks, still old school spring style. Front forks are quite intimidating to replace. I see you mentioned some suggestions. Yeah, okay. Yeah, those Harley rear shocks might be okay. I'd worry though. I mean, depending on how heavy you are, how much you weigh, they might be a little bit oversprung. Just given that, you know, depending on what Harley you come off of, those bikes can weigh like 800 pounds. So those might be a little oversprung for you, but maybe not. But yeah, the front forks. I can't tell you what fork diameters would fit. I mean, that would be the easiest way, is to find a more modern bike with a disc brake that has the same fork tube diameter, then they just slide up with the triple clamps. However, where you're already going kind of custom, you could get a job shop or something to machine out some triple clamps out of some aluminum. It won't be cheap, but it won't be expensive. I mean, it'd be a few $100s, and you could have some custom triple clamps made to fit your stem, and then put some taper bearings in the stem, and you know, it would almost be bolt up, and you'd have a good front end. You know, something that would have a little more spring to it, and and more rigidity. Mostly, what you're looking for is the rigidity, and then you'd have that disc brake up front. Okay, you're 145 pounds. Okay, well, you weigh less than me. Those shocks may be a little oversprung for that, but you know what? If you have them and they didn't cost you much, you'll give it a try. That's what I do all the time. Sometimes I buy some cheap parts and just throw it at it and try it. Or if I have something laying around, you know, I give it a try. Trial and error. You know, that's how these kind of projects go. Oh, you're actually a CNC. Well, there you go. Well, make your own triple clamps, and I want to see those. I want to see. I'm challenging you. Make your own triple clamps, and I want to see those, because I guarantee you could probably do it. Has Junkman ever outrun the cops on a motorcycle? You don't need to answer. Just joking. You look like you get out. You know, I do. I have done crazier things in my youth, but Running from the cops on a motorcycle? No, I have not done that. I'll zip my lips with my first car, which if you want to see what my first car is, that's on my website too. A little bit of a sleeper kind of thing here. Used to do some street racing. I guess I wouldn't say I outran the cops, but cops were coming and I ran and hid. But that's about all I'll say about that. Let's see. And Jordan's talking about his bike here again. But yeah, the hub brakes are not good at all, and they cost $30 on Craigslist. And they're awful small, really. Well, give them a try. Yeah, actually, the rear drum will be fine if you get a good disc brake up front. That rear one, it'll be good enough for what you're doing. I mean, if you're gonna get kind of serious about it, like you want to do some club racing with it, well, yeah, then maybe you need to go the route of building a bracket on your swing arm to hold the caliper and all that. But in my opinion, it just sounds like a lot of extra work for not that much more, braking performance really, or performance, I guess, or usability. If it's mostly going to just drive on the street, I think you'll be fine. Called the helicopter on you. Well, I'd say doing some of that, and you might not be on this earth for long. So I wouldn't make that a habit. Running from the cops there, Joe. Thanks again, Junkman. Keep it up. Awesome vids, and hope YouTube pays you well. Well, they're going to pay me whatever they are able to charge the advertisers, and by whatever my views continue to be here. And which, like I said, I was doing it for free before, so if it ever turns out that they quit paying me, I quit being a partner, or they eliminate monetization all the time, I'm going to still make videos because I did them before, so I'll keep doing them in the future. So I like I said, I appreciate it. Appreciate the donation again there. But I guess would any of you? I mean, I know some of you aren't actually probably aren't uploading videos to YouTube or trying to do it. But do you guys have any questions about kind of how it works, or what else I do kind of to make money on the internet? Because I have a couple of different sources that I use. Like I said, don't do them all optimally, but for example, like I said, I mentioned I have my website for information purposes, and then I have some ads, some light ads that run on it. Also, I have a commenting system because I wanted a way for people to interact on my website. I didn't want a forum, but I wanted a way to, because I used to kind of do by email, and that just got overwhelming, and it was hard. And plus, when somebody would get hacked, I would get spam from theirs and theirs. So I just okay, no more emails. I got to have a comment system. Well, I use Disqus, and it's one of the probably premier top ones. It's on a lot of different large sites, and they have kind of a monetization program. They also have where they have some kind of ads at the bottom, but also mostly I like it because they also refer to other pages on my website, so it keeps people finding my new content. If they're on one page and it says, oh, because you're on this page, you might also like this page, and they might go over there and find some, it's all about making it easier for people to discover the information they want. It's information discovery, in my opinion. That's why I have the website, and that's why I always add to it. And that's why I have the comments on there, because then people can look through and see a question somebody else answered, and maybe somebody's already answered that question, and then there's my response, or somebody else's response, even not even mine, because there can be people going back and forth on comments on my website, and there's some good information in there down in the comments. So I have that, and like I said, that earns a little bit. It's not a lot, maybe $100 a year, maybe, if that kind of thing. And then also I also have, like I said, my sponsors are through affiliate links, and that's through a company called Commission Junction. You can sign up for that, and you can look for sponsors and affiliate links and stuff. And I only have 2. These seem to fit my content the best, but there's a lot of other different things out there to do on that But oh, Jordan's got a good question here. Is going into the realm of the internet, like what you're doing, intimidating at all? Yeah, I'd say it's probably I'd say it's intimidating. I I always was kind of a decent public speaker, so I mean I wasn't afraid to be in front of the camera. However, it's a little different when you're in front of the camera, even like right now. But you got viewers and watching, and then like a video, you got viewers watching something that could be 10 years old now and commenting or it's out of context and things. Um, you just got to be comfortable in your own skin, I guess, is the way to think about it. And when I'm talking to the camera, either like this or in the video, I try to act like or play like I'm talking to a friend or an acquaintance or someone who really wants to hear what I have to say about the subject at hand, and that helps make it less intimidating. But you got to be ready for the bad comments. I've never had any really nasty comments. I mean, some of them I get are like, "Oh, you're stupid," or "That's not how you do it," or they nitpick something, and that's natural. I mean, we do that in our everyday lives. So if you're okay with it in IRL, you'll be fine with it on YouTube. But um, you might want to assess that before you really go all in. But I encourage anybody who has even an inkling to try and do make content. Just make content for the internet, not just videos, writing, photography, whatever, a blog. Do it, do it. It's fun. It can be rewarding. It's a nice creative outlet if you're one of those type of people. I think that's why, like I said, my viewer and kind of online friend there, Wood Metal, you know, he's he's an older YouTuber. I'm a sort of younger one. I guess I'm kind of getting old now. But what I mean is, it can be for everybody if you have the desire. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Um, what are we? Oh, okay. How did you first approach it? Approach making videos or the internet itself? Because videos and pointing a camera at something, I've been doing that since age 10. I have 8mm film. I mean, actual film movies. Some is just filming around, where I grew up and things. Others were honest to God. I tried to make a movie, or 3 minutes at a time, because with 8mm film, you only have 3 minutes of film, uh, and then you have to change reels. So if you want to make it longer, you have to splice it together in 3-minute increments, and I did that. I did a lot of stop motion stuff with either action figures and things, and I build little sets on a table just like this, and point the camera at it, and move whatever it is a little bit, stop motion. And of course, there's no sound with 8mm film, and so I would record a soundtrack or the dialogue and things on a cassette player, and you'd have to start them at the same time so it would sync up. But I just do some storytelling like that, and I've been doing that um, since, like I said, I was about 10 years old, and then eventually we got a VHS type camera, and then of course that was amazing because I had instant playback. With the film, okay, you had to shoot it all up, all 3 minutes of it, and then send it off to get developed, and that would take 3-4 weeks before you get it back. And then you'd find out that some stuff was out of focus, or it was overexposed, underexposed. I mean, just and I have all that, and I've contemplated putting some of that up. It's just getting it digitized it's a pain in the butt um, because it has to be captured in real time. But I think your question is more making content seriously for the internet, whether informational or in hopes to get some kind of internet money. Approaching that side of the fence. Okay, specifically. Okay, thanks for clarifying that. And let me answer Joe's question. Bobby, do you do target shooting? If so, could you make a video? That'd be cool. Hey, I have some target shooting uh, videos on my channel already. Me and some of my family. My wife's a really good skeet shooter, actually. She's better than me, actually. But head on over to my channel. I got some of that already. So, but let me go back to Jordan's question because it's close to the topic at hand. Making content seriously for the internet, whether informational or in hopes of getting some of that internet money. How did I approach it? I just did it. I just started uploading, I guess. I didn't have a plan. I honestly still don't have a plan. I mean, I guess I have more of a plan now than when I started, but back then I purely uploaded my first video to YouTube in January of 2006 purely because I wanted to share it with my family. I did have a couple videos uploaded to an old now defunct site called putfile.com, and their upload limit was 25 megabytes, and when I discovered YouTube, it was like 100 megabytes. I was like, holy crap, that's four times the size. I still had to compress this massive video that I made down to 100 megabytes and it ruined the quality. It's up on YouTube. You can see it. It was like a 1 gig video that I compressed to 100 megabytes. So not the right thing to do, but it was all I could do at the time, you know. And I was edited on an old XP machine. But yeah, so I guess the way I approach it is I first think, what am I interested in right now? Or what do I want to make a video on? Because I make these videos on stuff I want to make them on. I don't follow trends generally or try to do any of that like the big YouTubers. That's how you would definitely get big quick, is follow trends. And I don't do that, and that's why I'm not big. But that's also why I'm happy and don't stress about it. But I guess that's the other thing. I just don't stress about it, and I just make the content, good or bad, that I want to make and that I want to see. You kind of have a follow-up here. I guess I'm interested in kind of what you're doing. I own a small metalworking motorcycle shop. I'm an engineer currently machining in a CNC shop, possibly looking at a starter channel. Oh, gosh. Yes, start a channel. Take cues from other YouTubers that do something similar, but don't copy them. But you know, take inspiration from them. I take inspiration from channels that don't do anything like what I do, but I pick up on things. I mean, I'm kind of a closet retro gamer. I mean, because I have a fairly sizable Atari 2600 collection. Nothing like the big guys that's their life, but I mean, you know, I've rarely discussed that on here because I don't know that my audience is much into it. I'm not into really modern gaming stuff, but I do watch a little bit of that kind of content. I also watch some of the larger popular YouTubers, but I also watch, you know, the other automotive and motorcycle related stuff, you know, just stuff I'm interested in. So yeah, and read what Wooden Metal Shop, just go for it. And right, he's a perfect, Wooden Metal Workshop is a perfect example of just starting it, and look at him. He's growing. He's getting a following. His videos progressively get better and better and more entertaining and informative. Yeah, he already said it. That's what I was gonna say. Just do it. Film something, even if it's just your hands. If you don't want to do a face reveal, that's understandable. A lot of people do that, and that's fine. If you start getting a lot of views and stuff, people will start clamoring for face reveals. But you know, do it how you want to do it. I'd say pick something that you know, a topic related to CNC or engineering that you know well, and just cover it informationally. You wouldn't even have to show how to do it. Just show and be passionate about it, and that comes through the video. And I think that's what some of my appeal is. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to critique myself on that. But I think it's because in my videos, I honestly seem very interested and passionate about whatever it is I'm doing in the video. And not just doing it just because I need another video to upload to keep that algorithm, keep YouTube seeing my stuff and shoving it out there, you know. So, yeah, just start, and you can use your phone. I mean, the sound is going to be crappy, but start there. Just use your phone. I'm sure you have one, and you know, edit it a little bit. We don't need to see you unscrew every single screw, but you know, just do what you know best. That's the best advice I can have here. Um, let's see. I'm getting lost here. You guys are. I'm having a hard time keeping up here. Jordan says, I still have my. Oh, great. Nice. I was actually, I was a little self-conscious about even mentioning that just because I don't know, maybe video games seem still, even in this day and age, still seem like more like a kid thing or a nerd thing or nerd culture. But yeah, I am kind of a nerd when it comes to that stuff. So I on my second channel, actually that's a good segue to bring up my second channel. Over my second channel, I have put up a bit, just a teensy bit of gaming content with my wife, who's never played a video game in her life, and I have her play a couple of classics on the Atari 2600 and just give her real world, real life, real time. They're real crude and rough because I don't have a good way to capture the game footage. But yeah, I mean, if you're interested, head on over there, subscribe, or not, or just at least check out those two videos. Um, but yeah, I have a few hundred games I've collected and a lot of peripherals. And these are stuff I collected long before eBay existed. Some of these games and things I bought new, uh, or were bought new, or were bought on clearance when Atari was burning to the ground in the mid to late 80s. And so most of my collection I collect before eBay, you know, and such. So I have some unique accessories and literature and things of that nature. Um, so yeah, maybe I should make some videos for here on that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know if it'd do very good, but on this channel, that's why I kind of have the second channel that I started back in 2007, and I'm starting to resurrect it and post some of that kind of stuff over there. Let's see, we got some more comments coming in. Yeah, the passion is very important. Make videos that you want to see. Don't worry about the views. That's very true because the views, if it's a good video, uh, you know, even if it's not high production quality, but if it's good video, informational or entertaining or something or captures people's imaginations, they'll watch, they'll share, and it'll get around. So the views will come if the content is good. Let's see. I was thinking about sharing projects I create for work and in my shop using the machines I work on and just build logs of bikes and products. I have a Canon camera with some attachments. Okay, yeah, that's good place to start. That's some good ideas for content. I mean, that's kind of what I do here. I would like to do more bike restorations if I had. It's just that Barn Fresh series. I did two seasons, I guess you say, but two bikes. And if you haven't watched those, you know, go check them out. But those just the editing and the production just it's tough, and it's tough to find the time um, to do it where I have a regular day job that pays the real bills. This is just like I said again, this is just a hobby, and I don't plan ever on doing it full time. It's just because you'll work on something and wood and metal knows this too. You'll be working and then you'll be, oh dang, I missed that shot. So you have to kind of undo what you already did so you can get this and talk about that and show this and show that. And that's the only discouraging part about doing those kind of videos. But, you know, it's, I think you should do it. That's not to discourage you from doing it. It's the reason I haven't pumped out more than I have with those kind of things. But I got some other how-to stuff coming, and those are good ideas. And then it says, "Oh hell no, Atari and my Sega Genesis. I'm an old PC gamer. Baldur's Gate, New Winter Nights. Don't be shy about it." Okay. You know, I didn't own a computer till till I was out of college. I borrowed computers for most of my life. So honestly, I missed out on a lot of those old PC gaming, you know, the whole Commodore 64 and 128 era, and the early, you know, IBM XTs or compatibles. I missed out on all that kind of gaming, but I didn't miss out on, obviously, the Atari stuff. I never had anything other than that, but I did play NES, SNES. I did play a little bit of Genesis, but it was mostly friends, so it was all whatever they have. Oh, I do have, but I bought that. I bought that secondhand a few years after it was released, when it was basically, a console was basically doomed. I do have a Panasonic 3DO, the original FZ10, and a good chunk of the library of games, and I do have that. I didn't buy that new, but I thought it was kind of cool, and it was cheap. I mean, it was $800, I think, when it was new, and I bought it for like $100 with the games. That's how, that's how the PlayStation just obliterated everything when that came out, and that was worth nothing. So, I'm an Atari 2600. I also have an Intellivision as well, although I didn't grow up with it. I got that much later in just like a thrift store score. But I'm an Atari 2600 kind of aficionado or collector. But I'm not one that has to have them in box and all that stuff. I buy them to play. I know you can emulate and stuff these days, but I like to play on real hardware, and that's why I have some old CRTs around to play them on there, for the most authentic experience I can get with that. But that's the first time I've kind of admitted that on the channel here, so I guess it's out. I own 75 retro PC games, only 15 R games. So. All right, well, Jordan, I assume you probably watch channels like 8-Bit Guy and LGR. I assume if you're, collecting that kind of stuff. And Joe Kid said the total solar eclipse. Yes, August 21. Actually, I'm going to be in an area where I'll be able to see, for the most part, totality. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Make a stream about your Atari. I would definitely watch. Might even have some games you're looking for. Well, maybe I will. I could set up my rig here, where my collection and stuff is, and talk about it. Actually, I kind of did talk a little bit about my stuff on another YouTuber stream. We did a live stream together, like over Skype. I have an archive of it on my channel. If you go back, I think it's titled, I can't remember, titled Talk About Video Games, or Video Games, like Hank Hill would say. So you can hear about some of my retro gaming experiences there, because it's with an overseas gamer, and we talked about that. But yeah, I could make I could make some videos on that, I guess, or a stream. Maybe a stream would probably be best. But thanks, Wood Metal. Yep, I know. Actually, I only planned on going about an hour, or about an hour and 15 minutes. So I probably better be wrapping this up, unless you guys have some other good questions or things you want to ask me. I might wrap this up here pretty soon. But well, I'll ask you, Jordan, what kind of what kind of games you have. I probably have all of those games that you have as far as the Atari ones, because right now I have all the commons. I have all the kind of scarce ones. So I'm on to the more like kind of really scare and rare stuff. And I know there's those top tier things that are like kind of the quote-unquote sort of holy grail is Chase the Chuck Wagon. That's an Atari game that you can only get by sending in proofs of purchase from Purina Dog Food. And there's only, I want to say like 50, don't quote me on this, but like something like 15 known to exist or something like that. So, I'm probably not going to get those games. Same with like the Atari porn games. If you didn't know, there were some companies that made some adult-themed Atari games. Those aren't as rare, but they command higher prices than I want to pay on eBay. And I'm not into collecting of that. And they're terrible games as far as gameplay goes. They're usually just rip-offs of other games with just sprite changes. Um, Q-Bird is the rarest one I have in my own. Yeah, I own Q-Bird. I own both label variations too. That's the other thing is I kind of collect label variations because there were some re-releases and later in the life cycle as well. I don't specifically go after anything. I try to find them in the wild. Rarely do I buy a game on eBay unless it's just a good deal or it sparks my interest. Like, hey, like um, like BMX Airmaster or something. It's a kind of rare game, but it's a cheaper rare game, and I didn't have it. I'd always seen it in the catalogs, but and I wasn't finding it in the wild, so it's like, okay, I'll just concede, buy it on eBay. But that's kind of how that goes. Um, I like I said that it's a hobby too, and I'm not a completionist. When it comes to that, because there's just no way. I'll leave that to the immortal John Hancock and those kind of collectors that do things with Atari like that. Um, yeah, Star Wars. Yeah, I got both of the Star Wars. Yeah, I have those games too. So, well, I think we're about an hour and 20 minutes. Like I said, went about 20 minutes longer than I kind of anticipated I was going to do. So later on, this stream will be up as an archive. So if you want to share it around or rewatch it and hear something again or see your comment pop up, go ahead. So, for you guys out there that are watching and that you donated, I really appreciate that. Make sure you check out my website and share it around. Share any videos you think your friends or your other peers would enjoy. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. And I will catch you guys next time. I'll go back to the title screen, let you have a little bit of music on the way out. And I'm the Junk Man, and thanks for watching.